program brought to you by Heineken. Forever Heineken, unchanged since 1873.
Hello there and welcome to this one-hour edition of the Morning News. I'm Steve Hart.
And I'm Nerily Meadows. Thanks for joining us this Saturday morning. Our top stories: have the Eagles finally landed?
This will bring the house down. Degree of difficulty 10.
We want to keep building towards what we've talked about all year and last year.
The Tigers 3 in a row, but don't mention a player drain.
He's looking for Morgan, gets the bounce, Morgan. He scores, Morgan.
I can tell you now, there's no way anyone in this group should or can use that as an excuse.
Queensland banking on a red letter day.
We've got to make sure that our discipline is right in kicking range.
And Britain's hopes crash in the Tour de France.
Oh dear me, this looks as if this is going to be the end of the Tour de France for Bradley Wiggins.
We start with the AFL, and West Coast's emergence as an AFL power has continued with a thrilling 8-point win over Geelong at Patterson Stadium. So coming off the bye, the Eagles managed to hold on against the fast-finishing Cats. Mark Nikoski booted 3 goals. Rising Star nominee Luke Shuey and Mark Lacroix both kicked a couple. West Coast's 10th win of the season lifts them to equal on points with Hawthorn in the top 4, while Geelong's second loss on the trot is almost certain to see them concede top spot to Collingwood by the end of the round.
Rugby league news now. West Tigers coach Tim Sheen says news that some veterans are leaving the club was not the reason why his men lost their 3rd match in a row.
The Tigers were beaten 22-6 by Parramatta, who claimed their first win from 6 games. So after 5 games, the Eels finally put together a win. A terrible completion rate made it tough for the Tigers, who have now lost 3 in a row. Parramatta broke their Friday night hoodoo. They'd lost their past 6. The return of dual international Matt Rogers failed to do the trick for Gold Coast. They were beaten 22-6 by the Warriors.
As the Titans remain anchored to the bottom of the NRL ladder thanks to the Warriors' first win in over a month. So Billy Tupou brought up the Warriors' 1500th try in the win. The only real difference in the stats was missed tackles as the Warriors stopped their losing streak at 4 games. The Titans have now lost 7 of their past 8 matches. So the ladder getting interesting. The Warriors jump into the 8 to remain in finals contention. It pushes the Tigers back to 9th. They've scored just 3 tries in the last 3 games. Parramatta fans will be hoping for a repeat of 09 when they went on to make the grand final with that great run towards the back end of the season. While the Titans' only motivation now will be to avoid the wooden spoon.
Stick around. Coming up on the Morning News, the Davis Cup tie between Australia and China all tied up.
And the Reds aim to better their best.
I think both sides will be better than last time we played.
Welcome back to this one-hour edition of the Morning News. The matchup between Quade Cooper and Dan Carter is being billed as the one to watch in the Super Rugby final.
The Reds host the Crusaders in Brisbane and the respective fly halves hold the key. And Fox Sports is the only place to catch the Super Rugby final live. The Reds hosting the Crusaders, who are chasing a 4th title in 7 seasons, 8 in total. Live and exclusive coverage from 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 3 HD and Fox Sports 3.
Well, British hopes of a podium finish in the Tour de France have been dashed after Bradley Wiggins broke his collarbone 43 k's from the finish of Stage 7.
It's better news for compatriot Mark Cavendish, who claimed his 2nd stage win this year and his 17th overall. So no change at the top of the overall standings after Stage 7. Cadel Evans remains 1 second behind leader Thor Hushovd. England's Bradley Wiggins was in the top 10 before he crashed out of the race. Defending champion Alberto Contador is 24th, 1 minute and 42 seconds adrift.
To AFL now, and Richmond coach Damien Hardwick says his players were spared from watching a replay of last week's 103-point loss to Carlton. Instead, they watched highlights from their round 9 win over this weekend's opponent Essendon.
Since that night, both the Tigers and the Bombers have managed just 1 win. But this week, all the focus is on Richmond after their humiliating loss to the Blues.
And the Hawks will be looking for a 5th win over the Lions in 6 starts. You can catch all the action from Launceston from 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 HD and Fox Sports 1.
Fresh from State of Origin disappointment, New South Wales skipper Paul Gallen will again push through the pain barrier to line up for Cronulla against the Raiders. The inspirational forward has been carrying a rib cartilage injury for weeks, but the coach says resting Gallen for tonight's clash isn't an option. And Fox Sports Round 18 coverage kicks off at Toyota Stadium. Canberra chasing back-to-back wins at Cronulla for the first time since 1984. Catch all the action from 5 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports 2 HD and Fox Sports 2.
Well, to some tennis news now. The doubles pairing of Leighton Hewitt and Chris Guccione will look to give Australia the lead in the Davis Cup playoff against China today in Beijing. The opening day, singles were split. Debutant Marinko Matosevic lost in 5 sets, while Bernard Tomic continued his great Wimbledon form, levelling the tie with a 4-set victory.
Meanwhile, no Novak, no worries for Serbia as the Davis Cup holders took a 2-love lead over Sweden in their Davis Cup quarter-final after the Wimbledon champ and new world #1 Novak Djokovic withdrew to a knee injury.
OK, moving on to motorsport now, and Mark Webber is on track to claim back-to-back British Grand Prix victories after he posted the fastest time in practice, more than 2 seconds faster than Red Bull teammate Sebastian Vettel, who restricted his time on the track.
Glory star striker Shane Smeltz says the Perth side may be a little rusty in a friendly match against Scottish Premier League side Celtic at NIB Stadium tomorrow night. It'll be the first opportunity for local fans to see their star signing in action. Smeltz says while they're looking forward to testing themselves against the world-famous club, he isn't expecting the Glory to be at their best just yet. Perth are midway through their pre-season campaign with their first A-League match against Adelaide still 3 months away.
Well, Australia has survived a scare to book a spot in the semi-finals of the World Netball Championships, with the Diamonds holding off the Malawi Queens 58-44 in Singapore.
Coming up on the morning news, more NRL as 2 teams invade AFL territory.
And is green just a blip on Tava's radar?
And my job is to look fabulous, you know, and show these people that I'm a future Hall of Famer.